On December 7, 1941, Japan thought they delivered a knockout blow. They had the better trained pilots, the faster Zero fighters, and a head start. But they made one fatal mistake. They mistook a sleeping giant for a dying one. Japan played a game of chess. America played a game of math. Here is how the US didn't just outfight Japan, they outproduced them into extinction. At the start of the war, Japan's economy was a fraction of America's. But it wasn't just about money, it was about standardization, the Ford effect. While Japan's master craftsmen were hand-building planes like pieces of art, Detroit was building B-24 bombers like Ford Model Ts. The Willow Run plant, this single factory in Michigan, was churning out one B-24 bomber every 63 minutes. Japan's industry was high quality, but slow. America's industry was a tidal wave. By 1944, the US was producing more aircraft than all the Axis powers combined. It wasn't just more stuff, it was smarter stuff. America used its massive wealth to fund the R&D Japan couldn't afford. Radar. US ships could see Japanese planes through clouds and night. Japan was often flying blind. The proximity fuse, a tiny radar inside an anti-aircraft shell that exploded when it got near a plane. It turned the sky into a no-fly zone for Japanese pilots. The logistics chain. America built floating cities. If a ship got hit, the US had specialized repair docks that followed the fleet. Japan had to send ships all the way back to the mainland. Here's the kicker. The US could afford to lose a ship. Japan couldn't. In the time it took Japan to build one large aircraft carrier, the US launched dozens of escort carriers. Japan relied on decisive battles. America relied on a 24/7 industrial heartbeat. You can't win a war when your enemy is building ships faster than you can sink them. Japan outmaneuvered the US in 1941, but they couldn't outrun the American factory. In the end, the war wasn't won just on the waves of the Pacific, it was won on the assembly lines of the Midwest. Want more deep dives into military history? Hit that subscribe button and tell us, what's the most underrated invention of World War II?